Our next guest is with a company that's been pushing the boundary of mobile connectivity, and boy, we sure appreciate that. And already talking about the 5th generation of mobile tech, or as we know it, we've gone 3G to 4G, which most of us have, and 5G. Yes, folks, get ready for 5G. Senior Vice President of Product Management with Qualcomm is Raj Talluri. Raj, welcome into tomorrow. How are you, sir?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. Thank you, Dave.
Glad to have you with us. You're a busy guy here at the IFA Plus Summit. Not only did you have an awesome speech with fascinating information, but then you get off stage and right back on stage for
panel,
for working on a panel of the Internet of Everything, which is really more accurate than just saying IoT.
That's correct,
which is always kind of, we thought, a goofy name. The Internet of Things. What does that mean, right? But it really is the Internet of Everything. Tell me a little bit about the fact that we've been through 1, 2, 3, and 4G phones. Do we need a 5th one? Is it all about us having an amazing thirst for speed?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Dave. I mean, I think what we find is that as we build these technologies, 2G to 3G to 4G, every generation we think maybe we have enough. Why do we need one more?
Yeah.
But every generation you can see that our appetite for not only bandwidth but also different kinds of connectivity, and I'll talk a little bit about that, keeps changing. So with 5G, I believe that we will get many different things, but 3 things that we are focused on. One is just the ability to provide much higher bandwidth. Here at this IFA show, one of our customers launched a product called Ricoh Theta V, which is a camera that can record in 360 degrees. So let's say you're at a football game or a concert or something. You just hold it up, it records in 360, stitches the 360-degree video into a 4K stream, and ships it over the either Wi-Fi or a 4G LTE network.
So that's got to be like the most amount of data that one person can do
consume
on their own.
Now,
right?
Just imagine if multiple people are doing that,
Yes.
and you can then watch them with a virtual reality headset, so you'll feel like you're at the game. And since it's 360-degree video, you can move your head around and see exactly the same experience that your partner is transmitting.
Yeah, here comes the beer vendor. Oh, look, a play now again, and
exactly.
just all the activity. But a lot of data.
That's right.
To do not only the 360, but on top of that, you're talking about 4K
That's
quality.
Right. We have to do in 4K quality because when you put VR headsets very close to your eyes, you see a lot of resolution.
Yeah.
So essentially, you need to be very high resolution to provide that immersive experience. So that's one of the kind of use cases that 5G will enable. Now, there's also another trend that's going on, which is we are now connecting massive amount of things to the internet. What I mean by that is, electric meters, parking meters, lighting, home appliances, and so on. Now, some of these things may not generate a lot of video, but they want to be connected and quickly send the information they need to send and go back down quiet. So, for example, there's a lot of water being distributed in our cities. Sometimes some of these water pipes leak a little bit. So if you could put a little modem in one of those water pipes, and just where the leak happens, the sensor detects something is leaking, sends a message out, and you know where it is, and the person can go and fix that. Our freeways, you have many, many lights. Imagine if those lights could only turn on when you see some traffic coming like miles away. Otherwise, you just turn off. So there's so much efficiency gains to be had. But now when you start connecting all those massive number of things, you will need a 5G infrastructure that can support those connections, but not clog up a lot of bandwidth, but quickly come in and come down.
Yeah, because as you say, there's not a lot of data being used for these little things, just bits of information.
That's right.
And why not take advantage of it?
Right.
So they're not looking for speed, they're not looking for bandwidth in the long run, but you add them all together.
There are a huge number of them, so you need access.
Right.
So you need a much scalable network. Yeah. The third element of it is, what we call mission critical. Like many times now, we want access to information, on the internet, but you want it really quick with low latency. Imagine autonomous cars that's driving down the street and it sees something coming and it wants to make a decision. It doesn't have everything it needs in the car, so it has to go to network and come back. In those particular cases, you want very, very low latency. You just want to go and come back in microseconds.
Yeah, safety issues.
Especially. That's right. So in those kind of cases, you want very low latency. So 5G networks are also looking on low latency aspects of that. So high bandwidth, low latency for mission critical, and access for a lot of different stuff. So if we can solve these three problems, I think it's going to be a fantastic network for us.
But then how hard is it to get the carriers and the manufacturers? It seems to me first the carriers, obviously, they've got to be rebuilding their infrastructure for 5G. Is this something that the carriers of the world are saying, no, not yet, come on, we just spent billions on 4G? Is that an issue, or are they kind of on board with, yeah, we know we have to do this and we've got to spend the money and maintain our infrastructure, but get the latest? So
it is a later for sure. I mean, they are super interested, not only because, get the latest, also they see the amount of new problems we can solve, and from that there is business opportunity for all of them. And we did a study at Qualcomm that said by 2035 $12 trillion of revenue opportunity is going to be there in 5G.
Wow.
And multiple millions of jobs will be created. So it's kind of a big deal, and so we are super excited by that.
When are we going to see 5G? I know that you guys at Qualcomm, especially leaders in making these things happen, but is it something from a consumer standpoint that somebody going out today to buy a new phone is going to have second doubts and say, should I wait? Or this is not around the corner, but slightly into tomorrow, if you will?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We are now looking at, having a few early prototypes in 19, so we'll start to see how they're going. I think the launch and big volumes will start in 2021. But we have to start working on it way ahead to get everything ready.
Oh, for sure. And do we know a carrier that maybe has stepped up to say they're going to be there? They're going to be first? I think that seems to me the first carrier, like the first manufacturer of phones, is going to do well. But then everybody jumps on board, and now we've got competition. Good for all of us as consumers, but they've got to make money too to make it happen, right?
For sure. But this time around, we've seen multiple carriers, not just one. I mean, all the top ones that we know of, T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, everybody is talking about it. So, and also all over in China and and Korea and so on. So, and Japan. So I think it'll be a worldwide thing, and a lot of people will come on board pretty quickly.
So in order to have 5G working in my hands, maybe 2021, you're thinking?
That's probably what I would think. Hopefully in 20, but if not 21.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. And what challenges, we talk overall about the Internet of Things, and as your panel, the Internet of Everything, because it does boil down to that. Got to be more and more challenges, not only requiring us ultimately to 5G, but are we going to make it in time? Are we going to have all these Internet of Things not crashing the internet in the meantime?
No, well said. I mean, I actually think that while we talk about 5G and Internet of Things sometimes in the same sentence, there is a lot of Internet of Things products being done now on 4G. For example, at Qualcomm, we said publicly we shipped over 1.5 billion chips already into Internet of Things products, just in the last year or so. So there's a lot of use cases that can be done very well with current networks, and we are launching them. And 4G and 4G LTE serve very well. Also, a lot of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and so on. Connected products, because we make all forms of connectivity at Qualcomm, not just the Gs.
Not just the Gs.
But I think when you go to 5G, it'll get a whole lot better.
Oh, for sure. And am I correct in assuming that part of 5G will allow some of these Internet of Things, these billions of devices, to stay on 3 and 4G and do what they got to do, except for what we talked about, latency issues for safety and things, of course, medical things. But some of the other stuff, just general communication, they can run fine on the older, by then, the older networks, right?
Exactly. I actually think that a lot of the Internet of Things will use multiple forms of connectivity. Some will use Bluetooth, some will use Wi-Fi, some will use Zigbee, some will use 2G, 3G, and 4G. And some will use 5G as it's needed. So I think that it's a very backward compatible way things will work. So we don't have to worry about, oh my God, the 5G is here. Let me throw away the old ones.
Right. Like, hurry, replace your refrigerator because it's got to be 5G now. It's like, no. We're not there for a long, long time.
For sure.
Raj, you're a delight to chat with, and I look forward to hoping to be able to contact you again and maybe get you on the show, even on the phone. You can use your 4G phone in the meantime, and just get a catch up of what Qualcomm is up to and the technologies that you continue to help bring to market for all of us consumers.
For sure, Dave. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure as well. Raj Talluri is Senior Vice President of Product Management with Qualcomm. Of course, Qualcomm.com, QUALCOMM.com. We'll link you there as well when you visit us at intotomorrow.com. I'm Dave Graveline. We continue bringing you further into tomorrow from IFA in Berlin, Germany, as the Into Tomorrow broadcast continues right here on the Advanced Media Network.